Hi there, this is my case study for Truman Elementary EDL 858VA, Module 15. So for the problem identification analysis, I know that Truman Elementary is the largest of four K-8 schools in the district. The district also has two K-4 schools, elementary schools. The principal has been in the building 2 years. However, they've been in the district previously, so that would lead me to assume that he has some relationships built with the community as well as the teachers. Only 15% of the student population is free and reduced lunch, and of that population, or of their population, 5% is ESL. Reading achievement is low compared to math. Test scores are declining through the grades as well. They're not getting better, they're declining. I also know that the principal assessed the reading instruction within the classroom. He also asked that the reading supervisor visit the classrooms for a second opinion. She indicated in her report that they were in agreement on what she found, that she found that there was little to no small group and differentiation happening in the classrooms. Teachers taught from the basal, and that strategic reading wasn't discussed with the students in the instruction, and the content and the delivery of the instruction was not up to date with new research-based strategies. She advised that the curriculum standards be revisited with the teachers, phonics be addressed, elements of reading, individualized instruction, and then, of course, professional development. PTO also requested that reading instruction be addressed due to parent concern regarding spelling and phonics instruction specifically. I also know that the State Department of Education is providing a grant opportunity for reading support. Principal, they must gain support for the grant proposal from the school and the district, including the superintendent. The grant is determined by poverty and achievement, and the analysis of student achievement and instruction must be provided, as well as research-based programs that they can prove that the teachers know them and that the teachers are committed to implementing them. And then the superintendent must sign off saying that he is on board with this grant as well. Explanation of, and also the explanation of how activities will reach the goal must be provided. Truman's test scores compared, or what do I need to know? I need to know how the Truman Elementary test scores compare to district and state test scores. I also need to know some further disaggregation of that data. If the reading assessments are low, are there any other subcategories that might be specifically affected more than others? What is the reading instruction within the district? Is everybody else doing the same thing? Are they all teaching out of the same basal? What does it look like across the district? What are teacher perceptions of reading instruction and the outcomes? How do the teachers feel about the reading? What does the previous data show before the principal came? What does the reading instruction data look like? Is it similar? Was it declining? Was it improving? What is it that it looked like previously? What data do teachers track within their classrooms? And what does that data show? What current reading interventions are in place within the school? What are the parent perception data? What is being collected, and what does the data show? What is the parent involvement? According to any data and observations, and what academic support is given from the parents. And then how old, when you're looking at the reading purchased resource, how old is it? What that basal that they're following? What's the age of that? Does it follow the newer research-based instruction? The problem identified would be that, of course, student reading achievement is declining, that the teachers are lacking in research-based instruction knowledge and strategies. And if they're not lacking in it, they're not doing it. And then little to no individualized instruction is occurring. So this leads me to believe that no data is being kept to identify student learning gaps. It also makes me wonder that there may not be any instructional accommodations being made within the classroom and outside of the classroom. So strategies and action plan and appropriate strategies. First, I would review the reading resource for the quality and determine if it is useful, if it's not useful, what might need to be done. Obviously, purchasing a new one would be huge, but just really understanding that reading resource, and how best to utilize that. Collaborate with other admin within the district to see if they're having similar issues with their reading resource, what they do to get around, if it is old, what they do in order to be able to get around using the newer curriculum resources, and how they're doing within their schools. Collaborate with staff regarding the state data. So look at that with the staff so that they can gain some clarity about what's happening, and then create a shared mission regarding improvement. What's their vision and mission, so that then improvement can be had and everyone's working for the same goal. Collect perceptive data from teachers, students, and parents regarding reading. So, and that would include how they feel about the reading resource, their knowledge of standards, the needs that they feel the teachers, students, and parents need, data collection, how they feel how comfortable they are with collecting data and analyzing data, what strengths and weaknesses they feel like that they have regarding the reading instruction. And then you can use that data to help provide that professional development, help provide the things that are needed for the teachers in order to help them improve. Create a data team and provide data information as well as PD to that team. Provide reading professional development to all teachers, as well as provide time for the teachers to collaborate regarding the data that they collect, what the data means, how they can use that within their classroom to improve their instruction, and then as well as give them time to be able to collaborate about the professional development that teachers are receiving. Apply for the grant, and then create shared goals and plan with staff and stakeholders on a regular basis. As far as resolving the issues to promote student success for all students, the collection and disaggregation of data with staff helps the staff gain clarity so that they know exactly what the teachers need, what the students need in order to be successful. When everyone has a mission, a shared mission and vision, it brings staff together, it gives everybody direction for improvement. With the data team, it helps give this little guided coalition a piece of clarity of where the school is at, and then it gives them leadership opportunities to help give that information to not only the staff but also the community and the PTO members, so that they have that knowledge base. Collaborate with staff and stakeholders regarding the plan, and that would be with the PTO, with the site council, all of these, and encourage everybody that everything that we are doing is all based around the student success and the student learning. Professional development, of course, providing teachers with development specific to the needs that they have would help with teacher improvement, which then leads to the success of students. The feelings that I had, the reflection about the problem and unidentified issues. Well, the problem reflection that I had as I was reading this was I had empathy for the students and the parents, because if learning is not occurring, then of course I would be upset if I was a parent, but also as a student, of course, we want learning to happen. But I was also concerned about the negativity of the parents. Why is there negativity? Are the relationships not there? So that we can propel positivity versus negativity with the community. I do value the principal's inclusion of the reading supervisor and getting their opinion, so that there are two opinions in there, two people looking at the situation and understanding what the best way is to proceed. I'm also concerned about why the reading instruction is so poor, and if teachers have noticed. And if they haven't noticed, that's another big area of concern. Why haven't they noticed? Is there a serious lack in data collection and analyzation happening within the school? I'm concerned that math isn't also being brought up. It seems like math has many issues. So perhaps it's because he wants to be able to focus in one area rather than all areas, and you have to kind of have that focus. But that was a concern of mine as well. My concern also was when I looked at the grant, it didn't seem that the school qualified to receive it. So, not that all of the work would be not worthwhile, because of course it is. It appears that it needs to happen, but the ability to get the grant would be a concern of mine. Unidentified issues would be, how are students going to react to the data presented by the principal? How will the principal gain buy-in? And also, how open are they to change? The PTO seemed to have fairly negative perception. And so an unidentified issue would be how to change that perception. What perception the data shows in other areas, and how can that be addressed? So in those surveys and questionnaires that are sent out, what other things do parents perceive, or teachers and students perceive as negative? What relationships do the principals have with the parents and teachers? And then, of course, what is the budget if the grant is received, but then also if the grant isn't received, with the professional development and other things that is in the plan, what kind of budget is there to work with? For category B, the component 1A with engaging families and communities, the way I engaged the family and community would be, of course, collecting data through the questionnaires and surveys for their perceptions on reading instruction, collaborating with PTO members and addressing the concerns that they have in creating a plan regarding that, and then provided and collaborated a plan of action to PTO and stakeholders toward the academic improvement of the school. How did I engage the larger community? Once again, I collected perception data from the community, collaborated with them, and disaggregated the data, the results, collaborated with parents when creating a plan of action toward improvement. And then, of course, we'll have that continuous communication with the results and how things are happening within the school that we are working towards meeting that goal and following that action plan. I would also communicate that through the site council, which I'm able to communicate with a larger group of people versus just the PTO or just the staff members at the school. And of course, attend those PTO meetings as well as site council meetings. What policies, laws, and regulations did I follow? Whether the concern was from PTO or something that the principal has found themselves, I followed an organized process to address the problem, collaborated with the district leaders and administrators regarding any laws and policies, regulations, followed the guidelines outlined within the grant, and then, of course, policies would be to using data to determine an action plan. How would I create an ongoing dialogue? I collaborate with teachers, administrators in the community through staff meetings, PTO meetings, site council meetings. Communicate the results of the data in relation to a plan of action at the PTO and site council meetings, and include them into the discussion of any way that they could improve that plan. And then, of course, the professional development I would include that within the PTO and site council meetings, just to communicate with them and having that dialogue of how I'm reaching that plan and helping the teachers continue to learn so that they can work towards continued improvement. And that concludes my case study. Thanks for watching.